Goodreads can read.
Hey guys, it's Katie. Welcome to another video, and in today's video I'm going to be sharing with you my March anticipated releases. So as of always, I'm going to be reading the synopsis off of Goodreads as well as giving you the release date as of Goodreads. Please bear in mind that some release dates can change. I've had it happen before, so just to bear in mind. Also, some books can change into series, they can extend from series, so I'm just literally going to tell you the book. So I'm going to do it in order from books released near the beginning of March, so in order of release date basically. So the first book, or rather novella, that I have to share with you. Very excited about this because I love this series so much, and this is going to be Shadow Me, which is in the Shatter Me series. It's going to be 4.5, so after the latest book in the release. So I can't really talk too much what this series is about, but it's literally about this girl called Juliet whose touch kills people basically, and there's kind of like something to do with like her being used as a weapon sort of thing. So yeah, and all the covers are amazing, and the covers still match, which I'm really happy about. So yes, I'm really excited about this one. So this one actually comes out on the 5th of March, so near to the beginning of March, so we don't have long to wait. Next of all, we have Field Notes on Love by Jennifer E. Smith. This book comes out on the 5th of March as well, and this is about Hugo, who has literally just been dumped by his girlfriend. He was born in Britain and he is determined to take his last hurrah before college train trip across to the United States. But the companion ticket is already booked under the name of his ex, who is Margaret. So enter the new Margaret, an aspiring filmmaker with big dreams. After finding Hugo's spare ticket offer online, she is convinced that it's a perfect opportunity to expand her horizons. So when the two meet, the attraction is undeniable and they both find more than they bargained for. And as May pushes Hugo to explore his dreams of the future, he'll encourage her to channel a new, vulnerable side of her art. And when life off the train threatens the bubble they've created for themselves, will they manage to keep their love on track? So, sounds like an interesting meet-up with two people and a train journey. So, looking forward to that one. Also coming out on the 5th of March, we have Opposites of Always by Justin A. Reynolds. This is about Jack Ellison King, king of almost. He almost made valedictorian, varsity, and he almost got the girl. Jack and Kate meet at a party, bonding until sunrise over their mutual love of Fruit Loops and their favourite flicks. Jack knows that he is falling really hard, and soon she's meeting his best friends, Gillian and Franny, and Kate wins them over as easily as she did with Jack, but Jack's curse of almost is finally over, because this love story is complicated. It's an almost happily ever after. Kate then dies, and their story should end there. But Kate's death sends Jack back to the beginning, the moment that they first met, and Kate is there again. Beautiful Kate, happy, healthy, and charming as ever. He isn't sure if he's losing his mind, but if he has a chance to prevent their death, he will take it, even if it means that believing in time travel. However, Jack will learn that his actions are not without consequences, and when one choice turns deadly for someone else close to him, he has to figure out what he's willing to do and let go to save the people that he loves. So it sounds like an interesting sort of time-travelling novel, and I'm definitely all for it. Next of all, I have Bloodleaf by Crystal Smith, the first book that's in a new series. It's for fans of Red Queen, Uprooted, and The Goose Girl. It's a retelling of The Goose Girl, which takes a ghostly mystery set inside an epic fantasy world. So Aurelia is the first princess born to the crown in 200 years, destined to fulfill a treaty by journeying to marry Valentin, who is the prince of Alchelva, Renault's greatest enemy. Rumours of an unwell cruel prince abound, and the only thing that eclipses Aurelia's appearances of her impending marriage is their fear of those who'd kill her to prevent it. So when an assassination attempt forces Aurelia to use forbidden magic to save a stranger, she is driven from Renault by the witch-hunting tribunal and a mob out for blood. But before she can claim asylum in the court of her betrothed, her travel party turns on her, forcing her to trade places with her treacherous lady-in-waiting Lisette. Now penniless in Algeva and bereft of her identity, Aurelia must decide if she wants to surrender to her new life or fight for her own one, all while navigating the complicated ties binding her to the enigmatic prince, the unquiet ghost of an ancient queen, and a poisonous plant called Bloodleaf. Aurelia is a pawn in a centuries-long game of love, power, and war, and if she can't extricate herself from it before Lisette marries Valentin in her stead, she may face losses far more devastating than her crown. My goodness, that sounded so long-winded, but fantasies are really hard to explain in person, so that's why I have to read them off of Goodreads. But this is another 5th of March release, so it comes out at the beginning of March. But I'm loving the cover, and just with an assassination attempt, forbidden magic, definitely sounds like it could be an interesting one. Another 5th of release date, we have a young adult sci-fi LGBT novel, which is for fans of the 5th wave. This is called The Last 8 by Laura Pohl, and it's a survival story about 8 teenagers who outlive an alien attack. So Clover has always been a survivor, which is the only reason that she isn't among the dead when the aliens then invade and destroy Earth. So Clover hears an inexplicable radio message, and she's shocked to learn that there are other survivors. So when she arrives, she's greeted by a band of misfits who call themselves the last teenagers on Earth. Only they aren't the ragtag group of heroes Clover was expecting. They seem more interested in hiding than fighting back. Clover starts to wonder if she was better off alone. Then she finds a hidden spaceship and she doesn't know what to believe or who to trust. So it sounds really interesting, like, oh my god, could these people actually be the survivors or not? Dun dun dun! Now we move on to the 12th of March, and we have Heroine by Mindy McGuinness, which a lot of people are really anticipating. And I've read Not a Drop to Drink by Mindy McGuinness and I really enjoyed it, so I'm very, very highly anticipating this book. So it says here, 3 screws in her hip, 2 months until spring training, 1 answer to her problems. Mickey is no stranger to the opium epidemic in her small town. There are obituaries of classmates who died suddenly, stories of overdoses in gas station bathrooms, but none of that is her. Mickey is a star softball catcher, one part of a dynamic duo with her best friend and pitcher Carolina, about to start her senior season with hopes of college recruitment, until a car accident shatters the plan along with her hip and Carolina's arm. So now Mickey is hurting, she can barely walk, much less crouch behind the plate. A little white pill can make it better. After all, it is what the doctor has prescribed. But when the prescription runs out, Mickey turns to an elderly woman who pushes a hot meatloaf and a baggie full of oxy across the kitchen counter. It's there that Mickey makes new friends, other athletes in pain, others with just time to kill, and finds peaceful acceptance, a place where she can find words more easily than she ever has before. But as the pressure to be Mickey heightens, her desire for pills becomes less about pain and more about want, something that could send her spiralling out of control. So this is an interesting one. A lot of people are anticipating this one and I've rated it very high already. So it's not really the sort of normal book that I would go for. It's contemporary and a little realistic fiction. So I'm intrigued to see. I'm not as anticipating this one as much as some of these books, so I'm looking forward to see what people are going to think about this one. Moving on to March the 19th, we have The Weight of the Stars by Kay Ancrum. So it says here that Ryan Burr dreams of travelling across the stars, but a career in space isn't an option for a girl who lives in a trailer park on the wrong side of town. So Ryan becomes her circumstances and settles for acting out and skipping school to hang out with her delinquent friends. One day she meets Alexandra, who is a furious loner who spurns Ryan's offer for friendship. After a horrific accident leaves Alexandra with a broken arm, the two misfits are brought together despite themselves, and Ryan learns her secret. Alexandra's mother is an astronaut who volunteered for a one-way trip to the edge of the solar system. Every night without fail, Alexandra waits to catch radio signals from her mother and it's up to Ryan to lift her onto the roof day after day until the silence between us grows into friendship and eventually something more. In K.M. Crumb's signature poetic style, this slow burn romance will have you savouring every page. So it's a young adult science fiction LGBT novel and it actually sounds really interesting. This next novel comes out on the 19th of March as well. This is Sherwood by Megan Spooner. So this is about Robin of Locksley is dead. So when news comes that he's fallen in battle with the king's side in the Holy Land, Maid Marian doesn't know how she will go on. Betrothed to Robin, she was free to be herself, to flout the stifling rules of traditional society and share an equal voice with her beloved when it came to caring for the people of her land. But now Marian is alone, with no voice of her own. The people of Locksley, persecuted by the Sheriff of Nottingham, are doomed to live in poverty or face death by hanging. The dreadful Guy of Gisborne, the Sheriff's right hand, wishes to step into Robin's shoes as the Lord and Marian's fiancé. Society demands that she accept her fate and watch helplessly as her people starve. But when Marian dons Robin's green cloak, takes up his sword and bow, she never intended that anyone should mistake her for Robin, returned from the Holy Land as a vigilante. She never intended that the masked cloaked figure she created could stand up as a beacon of hope and justice to peasants and nobles alike. She never intended to become a legend. But all of Nottingham is crying out for a saviour, so Marian must choose to make her own fate and become her own hero. It sounds so good. So it's obviously a retelling of Robin Hood, with Marian taking over Robin, and yeah, an interesting young adult fantasy, which I'm all for, so I'm looking forward to this one. Two left now, guys. We have Girls with Sharp Sticks by Suzanne Young, which comes out on the March 19th as well. It says here, the girls of Innovations Academy are beautiful and well behaved, and it says on their report cards, under the watchful gaze of their guardians, the all-girl boarding school offers an array of studies and activities, from growing a beautiful garden to art appreciation and interior design. The girls learn to be the best society has to offer. Absent is the difficult math coursework, or the unnecessary sciences of current events. They are obedient young ladies free from arrogance or defiance, until Mina starts to realise that their carefully controlled existence may not be quite as it appears. As Mina and her friends began to uncover the dark secrets of what's actually happening there, and who they really are, the girls of Innovations will find out what they are truly capable of, because some of the prettiest flowers have the sharpest thorns. So it sounds like really interesting, and I'm totally all for this one. The last book release that I have to share with you is called Once and Future by Amy Rose Capetta and Corey McCarthy. This book sounds so interesting. So it's a fantasy retelling young adult sci-fi. So it sounds so cool. So it says here, I've been chosen my whole life as a fugitive refugee in the territory controlled by the tyrannical Mercer Corporation. I've always had to hide who I am until I found Excalibur. Now I'm done hiding. My name is Ari Helix. I have a magic sword, a cranky wizard, and a revolution to start. When Ari crash lands on old Earth and pulls a magic sword from its ancient resting place, she is revealed to be the newest reincarnation of King Arthur. And then she meets Merlin, who has aged backward over centuries into a teenager. And together they must break the curse that keeps Arthur coming back. Their quest is to defeat the cruel oppressive government and bring peace and equality to all humankind. No pressure. So obviously it's a sci-fi retelling of King Arthur, with Merlin still involved, so I think it's going to be really epic and really interesting, and it's a James Patterson Presents book as well, so I think it's just going to be really, really good. So there you have it, guys. Those are 10 book releases coming out in the month of March that I thought have sounded really interesting. Sorry that I can't give any synopsis, like, from my point of view. I'm really bad when it comes to like describing new books unless I've actually read them myself. I struggle. That's all I'm going to say. So that's why I read it off of Goodreads. So I hope that's okay. I hope you guys understand. And yeah, so let me know down below in the comments if you've read any of these books, if you managed to get hold of them for a review, or any of these books that you think sound really interesting. Also, let me know what books you guys have found that are coming out in March as well that you guys are really anticipating. and let me know your thoughts and stuff, and let's start a conversation in the comments below. If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. All of my social media links will be linked down below in the description if you'd like to follow me elsewhere. Thank you very much for watching my videos always. Keep smiling, keep reading, and be happy. My name is Katie, and I'll see all of you wonderful, awesome people in my next video. Bye!